Morning, gang. It's Thursday, the 7th of June, 2018. Welcome along to Bracknell and United Kingdom talk on this Thursday. It looks like it's going to be all right again today, actually. Nice looking day out there, I have to say. Yesterday, I went swimming after I finished chatting to you. Our good friend Anne was in the pool. Now, I don't know if I've told you about Anne before, but she's only a customer, but she's kind of in charge of the pool. Do you know what I mean? And she loves me and my mate Ron. We get on so well, myself and Anne and all Ron. Well, not me and Ronnie. We don't get on well at all, to be honest. That's my best mate. We constantly row and bicker. And he was inviting himself to America the other day because I'm be taking my nephew and his family to America in a couple of years. It was supposed to be this year, but another baby came along, as in Baby James, who you would have seen in our recent videos, the Lego. Baby James came along, so we've got to wait another couple of years now. But I did say I'd take him to Disneyland in America. And he's inviting himself along. Oh, I'm coming. Oh, please let me come. No, we row on holiday. It's happened too many times, dear. I can't take the risk of rowing with someone in front of my lovely little family. Not my little family, but, you know, my extended family. Absolutely not. Are you having a laugh? Do you row with people on holiday? Terrible. I can't go. I've decided now I'm not going on holiday ever with friends. It doesn't work. For me, it does. I don't know why we end up rowing. I say friends. It's happened with two people. My best mate. We've been on holiday a few times, and on 3 of those occasions, we've rowed like there's no tomorrow. Indeed, once I came home early, a week early. I mean, I can sit here and laugh. It wasn't funny at the time. Weren't funny. We went to Mexico, and we were on a cruise, and we were rowing on the boat so much that they had to call the bloke in charge. Whoever it was, you know, a member of staff came to our room. Is everything all right in here? I went home. I got another flight and I went home. That was it. So no, absolutely not. And this happens. We're not the only ones. I've heard this happens a lot of time between friends. You know, we see each other for a couple of hours a day or something like that. And suddenly you're with that same person for 24 hours. Bit like that when you were married. Perhaps that's why it didn't work when I got married. Suddenly you're with that person for 24 hours. That person that I'd like to spend a few minutes with them and a couple of hours with them and perhaps, few hours with them. And then suddenly they're with you for 24 hours and you can't shake them off. Go away, dear. Give me a little bit of space. Don't work. What about you? Have you ever rowed with someone on holiday? You know, and presumably you made up. We always make up afterwards, but it's not the point. At the time, you're in another country, you're having a row, you don't know what to do. Oh, it's awful. So never again, ever. No, absolutely not. Interesting, love. I've been on family, never row. Never ever row. But as I said on a previous show before, of course, if you're with family and they're younger, as in, you know, perhaps your children or nieces and nephews, in my case, nieces, nephews, and great nieces and great nephews, well, their enjoyment is number one in your head. Not you. Their enjoyment is number one. So you're constantly trying to think of ways that they will be happy. And I think it's a big, big difference taking small people. I say small. You know, my niece is 30. 31. She's 31. And then we got 5, 4 and 1. You're constantly worrying that they're going to be entertained, shall we say, rather than yourself. It's not about you, it's about them. And I think it's a big, big difference going with friends on holiday where he wants to do one thing and she wants to do that and you want to do this. Big, big difference. With the little ones, what they want to do, you do. Do you see what I mean? So that for me worked, and it works very well. Works very well, but that's the way it is, isn't it? Anyway, so we went to the, what was I saying to you? The swimming pool yesterday. Anne was in there. She does make me laugh, Anne. Anne, who runs the swimming pool. Not a member of staff, but she runs it. She comes in, and she has her little rubber hat on, and she's quite tall, actually, blonde-haired lady. We love her. She's hilarious. She comes in, morning, and the first thing she does is goes over to the button on the wall and turns the music off. Yeah, none of our business turning music off. She comes in, just turns it off. And I'm glad, actually, because it's all that stupid whale music. Ooh, 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 violins and nothing, no ABBA. No ABBA, no Barry Manilow, nothing like that at all. It's all strange music. So quite frankly, I'm glad she turns it off. If she sees someone getting in the pool who hasn't had a shower, excuse me, I'm sorry, you're supposed to have a shower before you come in. Otherwise, it's the bacteria. And they're like, what? You have to have a shower before you get in the pool, I'm afraid. It's just over there. And they go and do it. They go... Oh, I dropped my pen now. Where's that gone? Where's that pen gone out? And they go and do it. They go and have that shower. If there's someone in the wrong lane, they should tell them. I'm sorry, oh, this is for the swim, people going up and down. That's for if you want to play around, and then that lane's for you there. She tells them. And we go up and down, we have a laugh with her. I thought she was quite posh. And then I saw her go and got her in, and she's got one of those Fiat 500 things. Ghastly cars. They're the ones. Do you remember they were on Watchdog? Fiat 500. I think it was the Fiat 500, and they couldn't get up the hills. Seriously, there was something wrong with the engine. Was it the engine management system? I don't know what that was. That some sort of computer in a car. I mean, who ever thought about putting computers in cars? What's all that about? There's a computer in every car, isn't there? Apparently, well, these cars couldn't get up hills. I think they fixed them eventually, but it went on for ages. It was on Watchdog. And he's sort of steep hill, and it goes slower and slower, and then just stopped. Couldn't get up the hill. She's got one of those. I thought she was posh, you know. Thought she'd be outside in like a BMW or she's a Mercedes lady. She comes across as the Mercedes lady. Me, Toyota. Very basic, Toyota. You know, I've got a Toyota. It's good to have a sort of basic car in London, because otherwise you get your windows smashed with moped gangs, isn't it? We've got advice on moped gangs later on, boys and girls. I'll be honest with you. I now, as soon as I'm approaching London, because I like to drive my windows open. Do you? To have your windows open when you're driving along? I like to have, and sometimes all of the windows open, all four of them, front and back. I come towards, I'm all right going through Richmond. As soon as I get toward near sort of Hammersmith, that's it, the windows go up again, and there's a little gap like that. Like that. And sometimes I see motorbikists. Of course, it's not all motorcyclists. It's not all motorcyclists. In fact, it's mopeds, isn't it? Mopeds. I see mopeds coming up the inside, and I think, oh, come on then. Just put your bloody fingers through the top of that, and I'll push the button and squash them. I don't think... Do all the windows stop if you put something in them or not? I don't know. I'd push that button so the window comes up and takes his bloody fingers off. Thieving people. I do fear now driving through London, because you keep seeing all these stories about motorbike gangs, and it's quite real. If you're watching in another country, this is actually happening at the moment, particularly in London. I think it's happened in Birmingham as well, and Manchester. Moped gangs. And they're very brazen, broad daylight. Out comes a knife and they try and smash the window. Although apparently it's quite difficult to smash a car window. Now, I didn't know this, but I've got that story a little bit later on in the show today, so I'll tell you later, okay? So that was the swimming. Ronnie came round here. We had dinner. And I put the dinner on. He came round and I said, we got dinner in the garden today. Oh, he says, I hope we were going to watch a bit of telly. Not on a day like this, we're not, mate. So I've got the garden out, and I've got the garden out. I've got the umbrella out. I've got a big umbrella over one of the tables, because I don't like to eat under the sun, do you? I'm not keen on eating under the sun. So the umbrella's open, and I cleaned the table off, which had all the winter rubbish on it, twigs and things like that. Brushed that off. I did have a tablecloth, which comes out in the summer, and I found that in the shed. Well, it had all been moth-eaten. There was all holes in it. So I chucked that away, and I just put a couple of plastic bags on there, and we had lunch on there, which was all very nice. As I say, I opened the umbrella for the first time this year. Great big umbrella I've had for a few years. And that was nice. So we had lunch, and that was all really. then a little bit later on he went. I went to bed, got up and done my quiz last night. Not bad quiz last night. Again, very low on teams. We've changed the quiz slightly now. We've changed the quiz now. If you ever want to come to the quiz, here it is. It's at the King's Head Theatre Bar every Wednesday night. Starts at 8:30 and finishes at 10:30. We have 2 rounds of questions, a picture round and a music round. And as I say, it's completely free to play. You can win a £30 bar tab. And it starts at 8:30 on Wednesdays. We changed it slightly in that the winner of the quiz gets to choose the theme of next week's quiz. So we done the quiz last night. A group of girls won. Lovely girls. And they were millennials, but they were okay millennials. They were millennials who understood humour. This is the problem with a lot of millennials. They don't get humour. They think whatever you say is offensive. And most people of my age or older or even younger, right? They don't want to offend anyone. Honestly, we don't. That is the absolute truth. We don't go out to offend anyone. But if you seek to constantly be offended, you will find it in everything. Anyway, these girls were not humour-phobic and they played along and they won. So they chose next week's theme at the King's Head Theatre Bar as the 1980s. Okay, so if you're coming along next week and you know a lot about the 1980s, then that's what we're doing. Next week, the entire quiz will be about the 1980s. So prepare for that. We might chuck in a general knowledge, a current affairs round, but the rest of it will all be 1980s. That's next week's quiz at the King's Head Theatre Bar, the 1980s. Okay? And that was my day yesterday. Not a bad day, was it, eh? Right, let's say hello to some of you this morning. Good morning over on YouTube. Joanna is enjoying the flowers at the beginning of the show. Is that the first time you've seen those, Joanna? We changed that about 2 weeks ago. So I'm glad you enjoy the flowers. That's all my garden or my mate's garden within those flowers in the opening video. Okay. Good morning to Paul Mosley up there in Birmingham. Morning. The lovely Claire is there. Good morning, Claire. Over on Facebook Live, Adam the Plumber gets the first message in this morning. Good morning, Adam. Morning, sir. Andy. Good morning, Andy. Tom Gully. Hello, Tom in the States there. SOS Gregorian says, Guten Morgen. He is trying to say a new word every day. Oh, we must set you a new word, I think, SOS Gregorian. A new word every day. That's not a bad thing to do. You could have a dictionary next to you. Start at the beginning and work right the way through until the end. I wonder if you'll get there before you're dead, because that's a lot of words, isn't it? I think perhaps 10 words a day. Well, shall we give you a word? Let's give you all a word. Just a moment. This was my mum's dictionary. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. We'll get a few shows out of this one. So the first one, I hope it's not a rude word. The first word in the diary, okay? See if you can make a sentence out of this, boys and girls, and I'll read them out. Oh, Christ. Look how small the letters are in this. How can anyone read that? Blimey. The first word in the book is... One moment, please. Now, what's that? Read it. Oh, it's there's instructions here about how to use a diary, how to use a dictionary. Right. The first word in the book is... One moment, please. Oh, no, well, we can't have A, can we? A. Hang on a minute. A. Now, what's the first? The first word in here is... Oh, I don't know about this. Is it a dictionary or what? No, that was too complicated, that one. Just a minute now. I've got a small one here. That my old school dictionary. Let's see if I can find that. Is it down here? Where's that now? Oh, no. Where is it? But here it is. I got it. Here we are, my old school dictionary. Look at this. Look, here we are. There's my name in there, written it. Look. Chris Reardon. Look, Chris Reardon. Has it got the... Oh, you can't see that there. It's a bit blurred. 12th of January, 1977. Oh, yes. Right, so the first word in here is... Look, the pictures are all brown, look. The pages are all brown. 1 minute, 1 minute. Here we are, here we are. Well, the first word in here is A. Oh, we can't have A, can we? Let's... Here we go. Aback. A-B-A-C-K. There you go. There you go. Make a sentence out of aback. You'll probably have to look it up for it to make sense. Can anyone make a sentence out of the word aback? A-B-A-C-K. All right? Good morning to Nadeem. I love that name, Nadeem. Good morning to you. Morning to Lou O'Keel. Good morning, Lou. Gary Davidson. Neil Rene. Good morning, Neil. He had connection trouble yesterday, Neil. You want to pay the bill, love? Pay the bill, dear, and they won't cut you off. Oucha Che. Good morning, Alan Russell. Hello, Alan. Morning, Alan. Have you selected a new song to do with Maureen this week? I know what you could do with Maureen. Don't Go Breaking Your Heart. I quite like that one. Don't go breaking your heart. Da 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 da. Ba da 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 da. Can you do that one with Maureen? A little bit more upbeat than that dreary one that you're doing, which is done very well. I gave to you like you gave. But you keep getting runs of blooming ballads again we had the other week, didn't we? Nice upbeat number. You and Maureen, Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Maureen probably watching at the moment. Good morning, Maureen, if you're there. Alan says, my uncle had a Datsun Cherry in 1986. I remember those. He took me and my mum and dad to see our beloved Nang in Reigate, Surrey. We went up a steep hill and ended up rolling back down. We had to get out and walk a quarter of a mile. Did you really? Couldn't you get up the hill? I never forget my mum and dad were on holiday once and they rang me up. Oh, something's terrible happened. I said, what's that then? Well, Daddy was driving around a corner and he took it a little bit too fast and ended up in a ditch. I had to get a farmer to tug him out. Oh, dear. Good morning to Ray Reynolds, international this morning. Good morning, Ray. Andy says, Michael McIntyre got attacked from a bike gang a few days ago. I read he was terrified. Yes, we saw that, Andy. Terrible. This is the thing with the motorbike gangs. However, a policeman, an ex-Met policeman, has written a little article in the Daily Mirror this morning about what you should do if you are attacked by a moped gang. So I'll come to that soon. All right, my darlings. Tom, when I heard about Chris Reardon's shockingly superior skills with Legos, I was taken aback. Excellent, Tom. Excellent use of the word aback there. Very well done. Very well done. Here we go. SOS Gregorian. I was somewhat taken aback by her big, luscious lips. Very, very good. Very good. You're doing well here. You're doing well here, Neil. They didn't gut me off. It was the Wi-Fi. Oh, come on. You were cut off. You would have pay the bill, Neil. Pay the bill, dear. Either that and don't be nicking your neighbour's Wi-Fi either. Do you remember we used to be able to do that before they started putting in these security codes and things like that? Good morning to Gokul. Good morning, Gokul. A text message, if you want to send a text message in, it's 07551 259 675. Okay, the text message thing is up and running. 07551 259 675 for your text messages. I've got one this morning. Good morning, Chris. I'm very sorry to hear about the fire at your favourite tea hotel, the Oriental at Knightsbridge. Did you see that yesterday? Awful. Awful. Now, why can't I... Now, I've actually done something to the phone. And now... Oh, there we are. Create new contact. Now, Maureen, I'm going to put your name there now. Maureen. There we are. Maureen. Let's... Oh, hang on. Maureen. Because I've adjusted this phone because it was unfortunately connected to my other phone and things were happening on both phones, which I didn't want. I want this specifically for the show, you see. So I've done that now. So that works. So the first time you send a text message, okay, if you can put your name and where you're from, and then I'll kind of add you into the system. So in future, when you text, it should come up with your name. There's one here who someone sent a smiley face, and I don't know who that is. So if you could do that, because I've changed the phone so that is now a standalone phone on its own, so to speak, so I don't get completely confused, all right? Good morning to Martin Edwards joining us this morning as well. And also, don't forget, there's a live, there's an audio stream only as well. If you want to go out or you don't fancy my ugly face on the picture while we're doing the show, you can listen to the audio stream only, which we chuck out now as well. Just type in... Well, it's up there. It's a small s, number 2, s2, okay, .free-shoutcast.com, :18560. If you just click on that, that will play out your audio. And on your mobile phone, you'll be able to click the screen off and it will still play in your ear holes, okay? So S2, that's a small s, number 2, s2.free-shoutcast.com, :18560 is where you'll find the audio only stream. Okay. Shazazar says, what are you talking about? I don't know. What, haven't you been listening? What do you mean, what's the matter? Who are you? Do you not like this? Well, if you watch, you'll understand, won't you? I mean, what's the point in coming on and saying, what are you talking about? Were you not there before? If you hang on a minute, you'll realise what's going on, won't you? Do try and keep up with the rest of us, dear. Now, let's have a look here. Oh, glad to tell you, my solar panel is now working perfectly all right, boys and girls. Hot water is coming down, being warmed up by the sun, and my repair has happened. It's all flowing through, so I'm getting free hot water now. I've not had the gas on now for about 6 weeks, which pleases me immensely, I tell you. I don't like to use gas or electricity if at all possible. You know, if I could do this show without turning anything on, I'd be extremely happy. Not possible at this moment. Fortunately, I've got the solar panels, but the hot water, the solar panel that does the hot water, that was blocked. It was blocked up with scale. So what I've got, I haven't got it here now, I don't think. No, I've got it here. The bloke came and fixed it. Am I with you? Are you with me? Not at the moment. No, I'm not with you. You're not sitting here. Is that what you mean? Not quite sure what you mean there. Yes, the scale was in the pipes. It's like a plastic pipe. And apparently he took the end off and the water came out like porridge because of all this stuff in there. Anyway, so they blasted that out put a hose at the end and then blasted it all through and whacked it a few times with a hammer and it started working and it cleared out the pipes. And now I've got a water softener. It's a bit like a very large tea bag actually. And you put that on a stick and you literally hang it in the little water tank that deals with the solar stuff, and that softens the water. Because we got very hard water here, unfortunately. All right. Paul says I'm not turning him on, so that's another saving. Excellent, Paul. Excellent. I can't remember the last time I turned anyone on, to be honest, Paul. Although there are probably people all over the world watching this at the moment who are becoming like that. Okay, thank you SOS Gregorian for your smiley face this morning. I shall add you into the system. Now, who's this here? Let's have a look. Hello, Chris. Great show. Keep up. Thank you very much to Neil in Luton. Keep it up. Looking forward to karaoke on Sunday. Done as you asked. Tell you who it is. Neil in Luton. Thank you, Neil. I'll add you into the system as well. And then once I've done that, you see you shouldn't have to... keep putting your name there. Hopefully, I won't know till tomorrow, till you send another text, and hopefully your name will just flash up there as well. Okay? Right, so in the news this morning, in the Daily Mirror, an ex-Metropolitan Police officer has written this. An ex-Scotland Yard detective has revealed his tips on how to avoid moped thieves, as the capital continues to be gripped with an increase in motor-related crime. And we've all seen these stories. Someone was just mentioning now about that excellent comedian Michael McIntyre, who was picking up his child from school, and raiders came to his car and started threatening him and nicked his Rolex watch. You know, Rolex. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You know, if I had a Rolex, well, I wouldn't buy one. I mean, it's just a piece of unnecessary jewellery to me. All these jewels that people buy, earrings and watches and rings. It just doesn't do it for me. It really doesn't. And I don't own anything at all that is kind of jewellery related that would be worth anything. Downstairs, I've got a little gold cross with a very tiny emerald on it. That belonged to my mother. I bought it from my mother in Florida. And when she died, I've kept it and it hangs over a picture. But that's not worth, it's 30, 40 quid, I suppose, something like that. I don't own anything like that. And I see people with this sort of thing walking, and I'm thinking, you're asking for trouble. You really are. I mean, there are certain countries that you get off a boat. You know, if you're doing a cruise or something. And funny enough, we're back to the boat now that we were talking about earlier. But when me and my mate went on a cruise, a couple of countries, we got off and they told us to remove anything that was shiny, any jewellery, anything like that. Well, I tend to be of the opinion that you should do that. You just shouldn't wear this stuff out. Why do you want to walk around anywhere with a £10,000 watch on your wrist? I just don't get it. It's like a flash thing, isn't it? Oh, look what I've got. I don't get it. I think you're asking for trouble, whoever you are wearing this stuff. You know, great big gold necklaces and all that business. Why? You're asking to be robbed. Of course, your answer could be to that, I should be able to wear anything I want. Well, yeah, if you want to attract attention, fine. I don't want to attract attention to people when I'm out. I've got a basic car. It's a nice car, but it's a Toyota. It's not exactly a BMW or a Mercedes or a Land Rover, is it? David, David, blimey, how'd you say that name? Videti, I don't know. Videki, V-I-D-E-C-T-T, Vid, it doesn't matter. David, a former police Met counter-terror cop, took to Twitter to write a series of helpful posts that could help reduce the risk of being targeted by the two-wheeled moped attackers. This is in the day's Daily Mirror. His advice was in response to a high-profile mugging of comedian Michael McIntyre on Monday. McIntyre was ambushed by thugs in broad daylight as he was picking his son up from school in North London. Attackers, armed with hammers, snatched a £15,000 watch after smashing the driver window of his car. The cop, who left the police and is now a published thriller writer, says there are simply not enough police to fight the epidemic, and he warned Londoners to avoid taking the same route to work every day and said switching up habits may throw potential muggers off, because we don't know if he was actually targeted. Did they follow him from his house? In which case they'd know where his house was, wouldn't they? He said there's a few interesting points that are worth mentioning about the attack. First of all, timing and location of the attack. He says, I'm totally not interested in moaning about double yellow line parking, so forget that. He's stopped to pick up his son, and this would appear to be a regular occurrence. It leaves open the idea that he was specifically targeted. The policeman lauded McIntyre's calmness, but says he was wrong to get out of his vehicle to confront his attackers. They've attacked the driver's side window with a hammer. As you can see, they've had to hit it a number of times before it's actually broken. And this is interesting. He goes on to say, car windows are surprisingly strong. Don't sit there and let them break it. Drive off or move. Don't be a passive target. I tell you what I tend to do, I must admit. If one of these bastards came up to my side window and started banging with a hammer, I'd simply open the door and knock the little gits off the bikes. Surely that must be fairly easy. I mean, I've never done something like this, but it must be fairly easy to push a motorbike or a moped over to the side. Surely that's quite an easy thing to do, is it not? You think about it. So they're right next to you, they're banging away. You simply open the door with force. You know, you've got to give it a good push. And they'll be on their sides, like a beetle, little legs in the air like that. And then you can laugh as you drive off. I think that's what I'd intend to do. He goes on to say, in any case, at that point, I wouldn't advise putting up a fight because being passive is likely best. It's only a watch. And it is. It's only a watch. You know, if you want to go and spend 20, 30, 40,000 pounds on a watch and are stupid enough to wear it out in public, I know that's what it's for. What's the point in having the watch in the first place? Well, don't buy it then. Spend your money on something else. Spend your money on something else. Passers-by must also take a more proactive role in combating the problem and should attempt to take photos and videos to provide police with vital evidence. And that does appear to be happening, I must say. Of all these moped dodgy things going on all over the place, there's a number of pictures and videos now emerging in the papers and on the telly of people literally, I mean, we've all got one, haven't we? We've all got cameras. We've all got cameras. This is what makes it even more brazen, doesn't it, really, when you think about it? All these people doing these dodgy deeds are being filmed and cameraed and photographed, aren't they? And they end up on the papers. And they've got those silly little scarves around them. I mean, what do they look like on those bikes? Passers-by, he wrote, passers-by and people not being aware of what's going on. One guy does go to help, but then stands and watches. Note the people on the pavement behind Michael, this was in the photographs that were published, oblivious to what's going on around them. Wake up, you outnumber these yobs, and together they could have done something. Well, I expect a lot of them were just staring down at their phones like they usually do. No one's watching what's going on around them anymore. You've only got to see people walking across the road, eyes stuck into the phone like zombies. Identification. Oh, it says, even if you take photos and video of what's going on, do something. Video and photos help police if you make them aware of it. There's no point in taking these photos and videos if you don't then pass them on to someone. What's the point of that? And get them on Facebook. Let's find out who these people are. Get them uploaded to Facebook and Twitter and share them as much as possible. There's a Facebook thing I'm on called Predator at the moment. It's a Facebook group, Predator. And they go out and seek paedophiles. Have you seen that yet? They literally... So what happens... I'm not sure exactly what happens, but I think someone... How does this work then? I think someone poses as a young child, okay? And then... I don't know if they message... It can't work like that, can it? Do they instigate the message? I don't know how it works. But somehow there's the person pretending to be a young child targets a paedophile, someone who they think is a paedophile. And then they arrange a meeting, okay? So they wait for the person to get there for the meeting. And then they meet, and they've all got cameras. I say, have you come to meet... I don't know, Julie, who said she was 15 years old. Yes, that's right. Well, there is no Julie. We are predators and we've come to get you arrested and all this. And then they show all these messages. Some of them are very rude. They show all the messages to the person. And what did you say you were going to do? And we were just going to take... No, you didn't. This is what you said. And then they read back the messages that the person had sent them. You know, so this whole camp, and then it's all on there for everyone to see. Why can't we do the same? Why is this happening with the moped things? I think it is actually, yeah. So, you know, once you've got these films, no point in you just having them on your camera. Upload them. Let's see who these dodgy people are and send them to the police. Get them banged up for life, hopefully. I mean, I'm not one for violence, but the Saudis have got a good idea. They chop your bloody hands off, dear. You never do it again then. I don't have a problem with that. Stealing from people like that, chop their blooming hands off and be done with it. The story goes on in a Daily Mirror. Identification. We want to see makes of clothing. The attacker's eyes. Apparently the eyes are very distinctive, aren't they? Actually, I can believe that, because I've done quizzes with like pictures of people. You have to identify the person with pictures' eyes, and people are quite good for that, aren't they? Identification. We want to see makes of clothing, the attacker's eyes, distinctive marks or features on the moped, scratches, so that we can link to the scene. Routine, especially at places like schools, where you're likely parked in the same place at the same time. Michael had an expensive watch. Much has been said about it, but we are all targets. Our phones are worth several £100 each. They want them. Yeah, now, I with the mobile phones, I mean, it's not good to have them out all the time, but you see it everyone's on their blooming phones all the time. But, you know, you've got to unlock the thing every time, so I don't quite get that. You know, if they nick my phone, can they unlock it somehow? Because they won't know my numbers, will they? You know, I've got a 6-digit passcode thing that I type into the phone. Right? So if they was to nick my phone, they can't use it, can they? Because I've got that 6-digit thing on there. Or how does that work? Maybe there's a way around that. Probably is, isn't there? How do I know? I'm 55 years old. I don't understand these things. I give it to a 13-year-old, he'd probably be able to unlock it like that. In 2017, there were more than 23,000 crimes committed in London using motorcycles. Did you hear that number? There were not 23,000 crimes, 23,000 crimes using motorcycles, including smash and grab robberies, high-value street raids, and mobile phone theft. My guess is most of those are mobile phone thefts. The Metropolitan Police are pouring resources into trying to crack down on moped crime, with thefts declining by 24% in the period from June to September 2017. New measures include is that thefts of mopeds? I'm not quite sure. That doesn't quite make sense. The Met Police are pouring resources into trying to crack down on moped crime, with thefts declining by 24% in the period from June to September 2017. New measures include remote-controlled spikes to puncture tyres and DNA tagging space. Now, I don't get this. The remote-controlled spikes. Well, how do they know where the moped thieves are going to take place? What, do you just put spikes everywhere? Well, I don't understand that either. Anyway, that's the story there. I mean, my advice would be don't wear this stuff when you're putting on a blooming £25,000 Rolex, if you're lucky enough to have one. It's just mad. You're asking for trouble. Okay, maybe if you're walking around in Harrods or Selfridges or somewhere like that, you know, once you're in the shop, you know, put your watch on and walk around with it in there if you want to flash it off a bit to people. Once you come out of there, you remember where that raid was the other day in the watch shop? Bloody Regent Street, dear. Regent Street. You'd think you'd be safe in Regent Street and Oxford Street, wouldn't you? Huh? Madness. Paul says, you think it would be hard to hammer on a car door and take the watch in a built-up area? Well, you would. You would. Paul says, bread and water for life, I say. I agree. Joanna, I'd run over them with my vehicle. Yep, yeah, but you'll get done then, Joanna. You'll get done for murder. I mean, I agree. I agree. These people need to be killed. Chucked in the river. Hung, drawn and quartered. But if you did it, you'd get done for that, so I don't advise that. Just open your door and knock the bike over. It'd be hilarious to watch them, wouldn't it? Huh? What are the authorities doing about this? Well, they're doing their best, I think. What can you do? You know, say me and my mate went out and bought a moped today, okay? Or he comes round here. Okay, let's go and nick someone's watch. And we're out, nick the watch back. How do you stop something like that? By the time we're back, it's all over and done in like 10 seconds. How do you stop something like that? Very difficult. Let's have a look. Paul. Sorry, no, I've read that one. Paul. Apple phones cannot really be used once stolen, but these Samsung type Android phones can. The thieves can't tell as they whiz up, so they take it whatever. Yeah, I see what you're saying there, Paul. I mean, that does make sense, doesn't it? But very, very worrying about all these moped thefts and the violence as well, you know, with the knives and the, you saw that bloke with it. What do they call it? A horror knife or something? A horror, is it a zombie? What's that zombie? Why are they banning zombie knives? Honestly. Dreadful, dreadful, dreadful. Okay, so that's one story there. What else have we got here? Rattlesnakes. Again, in the Daily Mirror this morning, we're swinging to the left today, we really are. In the Daily Mirror this morning, a Texas man was left fighting for his life after he was bitten by the severed head of a venomous snake he had just decapitated in his garden. You would think once you cut the heads off, they'd be no good, wouldn't you? No, they carry on. It's just a head. Perhaps if I'm ever decapitated, I can keep my talk show going, just like the snake bit this bloke. Blimey, this bloke and his wife were doing some work around their property in Corpus Christi when she spotted the 4-foot-long snake. He decapitated the reptile with a shovel, but it sank its fangs into his hands when he picked up the head to dispose of it. Why would you pick that up? Well, a man's stupid. You'd pick it up with a shovel and chuck it over the fence, wouldn't you? Like I have to do with dead rodents in the garden sometimes. Well, I don't get them anymore now the cat's not here. Don't find any more dead mice in the garden. The bloke soon suffered seizures, loss of vision and internal bleeding as the snake's powerful venom coursed through his bloodstream, it was reported. Blimey. Mrs. Sutcliffe tried to drive her husband to a local hospital, but as his condition deteriorated, she pulled over, met an ambulance, and he was airlifted to hospital in a helicopter. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. She told ABC News that doctors initially told her that her husband was in a critical condition and could die even though he'd received a significant amount of antivenom. But he did get through it. He received 26 doses of antivenom and is now recovering in hospital. And there's a picture of his hand. And it's just all black. It looks like his hand is dead. Oh dear. I mean, if I find something dead in my garden, I never touch it. Why would you touch something like that or anything? Tom says he was stupid for trying to pick it up with his hand. Use a shovel. There you go. Tom knows. A decapitated rattler can still bite, and this one injected his full dose of venom into his head. How long does the head live for on its own then? Because they're not like the same as us, are they, snakes? You know, you can cut bits off and they still survive. You know, if I was to suddenly cut my head off here, I think I'd probably be dead. I mean, there may be a way, and I'm hoping this is going to come along before I die. There may be a way of saving the head, placing it in some sort of glass box, and then I can continue to chat to you for hundreds, possibly thousands of years about absolutely nothing. That's a good idea. Rattlesnake venom is hemorrhagic. It causes severe internal bleeding, as is the case here. Oh, that must be awful. You sort of bleed to death like that somehow, doesn't it? Horrible, 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 horrible. Paul says, on the subject of your car, you could go round with a big nasty dog in your car. Trouble is, if they bit the moped rider, the dog would get put down. Yeah, you see, this is the trouble, isn't it? That's the trouble. You can't win. I think the law needs to be changed, really. You've got to have... Mind you, on the other hand, there's a bloke over there he runs a security firm and he's got like 2 dogs. And there's another bloke over there, Alsatians. They go mad when they see me. I'm frightened when I walk past those dogs. I don't know. I know what the answer is. Hilal says, have you ever had an experience like with a rattle talk? No, fortunately not. Rattlesnake. No. We don't have rattlesnakes in the UK. We have poisonous snakes. We have adders. We have adders, but I've never seen one, really. Never, ever seen a snake here in the UK. Tom, even a snake's head that is dead, if you accidentally nick yourself with a fang, it can still cause you problems. A decapitated snake's head can live for up to an hour. God. Oh, no. And it's like when you pull the legs off a daddy long legs, they still move. Yeah, they do. Did you do that at school as well? Oh, don't, Andy. I feel so guilty about that. I used to do that in primary school. We used to pull the legs off daddy long legs and watch them wriggling. Isn't that awful thing? Why'd you do things like that when you were a little boy? It's horrible, isn't it? The things we used to do. Never mind. All right, gang. We're going to do today's birthdays, and then I must get ready. I've got an afternoon tea this afternoon. I'm going to meet my friend Richard, who I used to work with at a place called the Black Cap in Camden. And I'm meeting up with him. I haven't seen him for about 2 years now, so I'm meeting up with him at the Grove in Watford for a nice afternoon tea. I thought it'd be a nice thing to have a little bit of a chat with him there. So I must get myself ready. I've got to get down I might not even get down the swimming pool now. I've left that a bit late now. Oh, dear. And then I've got to go into London, right? Because I never told you this. After the end of the quiz night, I've only left my computer there. On the stage, I got back here. I opened the car door and I thought, oh my God, I've left the computer there. So I'm straight on the phone. So, all right, it's only Chris. I think I've left 2 bags on the stage. Can you see? And she said, oh, yes. She said, I can see them. I said, oh, put them in the office. I'll have to come back. So tonight I was going to have a relaxing night indoors. Ronnie was coming over here. We're going to watch a bit of telly. I've got to go to London now tonight to collect my computer. Otherwise, I'm mucked up without that. Completely mucked up without that. Can you believe that? I left the computer on the stage. In a bag. Anyone could have walked out with that. What a stupid man I am. Right, today's birthdays then. Happy birthday this morning to one of my nephew's mates, George Brown, who's 22 years old today. Happy birthday, George. Last time I saw you was at the event of the year, Jimmy Butler's 21st birthday party. Happy birthday, George. You doing anything for your birthday? Are you going out to the nightclub at all? Where's that dreadful nightclub that they all went to afterwards? Now, what he said... He did tell us what that was called now. Where was it? Was it in Tattershall? I don't know. Coningsby. Some nightclub in Coningsby. That's just awful. Did you go there? Is that where you're going for your birthday, George? Happy birthday. Tommy Flynn. Good morning, Tommy. Happy birthday to you. You've been very quiet lately. Good morning, Tommy. Hello to Mikey White. Little Mikey. Mikey. Good morning, Mikey. Happy birthday, Mikey. Danny Williams. Again, someone from the Black Cap who I haven't seen for many years. Happy birthday, Danny. Kirt is 20. Kirt Ware is 27 years old today. Happy birthday, Kirt. Maz Delaney. Lovely Maz. A young 34 years old today. She used to come down and play the bingo, didn't you? Happy birthday, Maz. Charlotte Joe Hanbury is 31 years old today. Now, you're from... I think you went to the poor school, didn't you? And once again, I was doing the karaoke and bingo at the Golden Lion in King's Cross, wasn't I? So happy birthday to you, Charlotte. And rest in peace and happy birthday to a dear, dear friend of mine, Gwen Corn. She used to come, it's a number of years ago now, actually. She used to come along to karaoke's both at the Black Cap and the Golden Lion and... Belushi's in Hammersmith and Belushi's in London Bridge, and she'd always be there. Gwen was in her 60s, and we lost her a few years ago to the sea, unfortunately. But happy birthday to you, Gwen, and rest in peace, my darling. All right, let's sing our song. Where are we? There we go. Let's sing our little song. Oh, not working. System has failed. Oh no, you could hear that. I couldn't hear it. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Wonderful, wonderful people. Happy birthday to you all, okay? Finally, Paul Adams says, I was once bitten by an adder at Ham Fields. Nurse said I must have been asleep when I shocked, as it was only a tiny bit of venom. My leg went dark purple. Oh, nasty things. Snake bites. Do keep away from them. All right? Joanna says violators have all the rights. Well, they do. That's the whole joke about it. Violators do have all the rights. It's so wrong, isn't it? That has to change at some point. It has to change. Anyway, that's it for the show today. Thanks ever so much for joining us on this Thursday, the 7th of June, 2018. I shall look forward to my afternoon tea, and we'll have another little chat tomorrow. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye now.